So basically now, because of you, he will think that he can attract a beautiful, gorgeous woman out of his league. Girl, what have you done?
Aw, Nelly, it looks like you're more brain damaged than the usual broads I have on this show. Alright, you couldn't be more wrong if you tried, sister. Allow me to clarify this for you, madam, as you strike me as the type of woman who gets confused by a picture-by-picture instruction on how to make a bowl of cereal. It's not that he thinks he can get any woman he wants, it's that he knows he can get any woman he wants. He's Chad, and Chad's gonna do what Chad's gonna do. If he was stinking up your bedchamber, it's not because he had this deep connection with you. He was itching and you were ready to do some scratching. He already moved on to a younger, more attractive, and less demanding woman, so allow me to do you at least one favor and correct you. It's not that you gave him confidence that he could score with hotter women. It's that he gave you an ego boost because he porked you in the broom closet during $18 Long Island night at your local club. And now that he's gone, you can't get any more dudes, because the men you want aren't all that desperate. There's plenty of room in the broom closet for more chicks.
No, that is not true.
It's Halloween today, and you want to know what's really spooky? The amount of men, specifically white men, who are willing to vote for someone solely to protect their dollar over protecting their daughters. They'll walk around talking about how they're loving grandfathers, they're loving dads, they're loving husbands, yet they will vote to protect their wealth over their daughter's well-being. They're voting for somebody who's made it very clear that they do not value women. They don't value women. They don't believe women have a right to choose. They don't believe that women really even have a place in our society to make decisions about their own bodies.
You need to face the fact. You're a racist. A racist. You, not me. I'm not the racist.
Gladys, no, please, darling. You are way out of your league on this one. Now, I really don't feel like talking about political candidates here, as this isn't what I do, and there's plenty of other channels that do it better. But when it comes to old Gladys here, I feel like she's so stupid that I must educate her on some of the most basic fundamentals that I learned back when I was in preschool. You see, Gladys, when you make a massive derogatory statement towards a person based purely on the color of their skin, that's racist! When you lump up a bunch of men and judge them for their political beliefs while putting an emphasis on the color of their skin, that's racist! And when you completely disregard a man's concerns for his country, his family, and his ability to feed his daughter, while also pointing out the color of his skin as a negative, that's racist! Now, I feel like this is common knowledge, Gladys, but then again, you're pretty ignorant to the point where you loathe anybody who isn't you. So I guess it's not all that surprising.
I cannot imagine, as a mother to 3 daughters myself, walking around feeling confident in my decision to protect my assets, to protect my money over my children. I can't, and it's so funny because these men walk around being like, I'm a protector, I'm a provider, and I'm a protector, but they're not protecting anybody. No, they are voting to protect themselves. They're a protector of their money, of their assets, and of themselves and their comfy place in society. And there's a lot of white women doing it too. But yeah, it's bananas.
You! I will think of you as I throw up into the toilet.
Gladys, I find it awfully interesting that you say these things while sitting in a very nice house with a husband who makes crazy good money. You see, Gladys, most men actually pay attention to the world around them. They don't just act like they're on an ivory tower because the view is their spirit animal. You see, many fathers are in fact protectors. They worry about sending their sons off to fight in wars halfway around the globe that have nothing to do with them in any way, shape, or form. They're worried about their daughters being kidnapped by psychopaths who are not in this country legally. And they worry for their children as they see their economy crumble and they won't be able to afford a house, food, or start a family of their own because it's too expensive. Now, I'm not about to tell anyone on how to cast their vote. That's not my place. It's your choice. Vote your conscience, whomever it may be. But Gladys, you're in no position to commentate on anything when you're clearly wealthy and dangerously misinformed. But hey, don't let me stop you, Gladys. Your stupidity makes me laugh straight from my guts.
I know these men who, like, literally in their 60s, retired, own multiple homes, have no mortgages, had a pension, like, they're living the good life, and they're still voting with the economy in mind because they're fiscally aligned. And it's like, I can't be fiscally aligned with anybody who thinks it's okay to harm women, that it's okay to harm people of color. Like, fiscally, it doesn't matter.
Shut up, you don't exist.
Hey, Gladys, just because you watched a TikTok video of some divorced woman who says that her ex-husband paid off his mortgage doesn't mean that you actually know this man. In fact, you know none of these men. You choose not to listen because you'd rather live in your own little glass bubble of ignorance. Every single thing that you've said has been either debunked, taken out of context, or is simply not true. But you still feel the need to act like you're suffering, even though you're living a fairly good life in comparison to a majority of people out there. Because if you truly think that the biggest concern with the world right now is racism and a woman's so-called right to choose, then you're out of your stupid mind. And I hate to break it to you, Gladys, but just because you openly resent your husband, lash out at men irrationally, and act like you're a victim when you live in a massive house, it doesn't make you a political expert. So maybe you should sit this one out, Gladys. That's what I'm trying to do, but your hilarious idiocy makes it too difficult to pass up sometimes.
There's the door, why don't you check it out?
So I slept with one of my friend's boyfriends the other night, but she let me. She watched, and she frothed it. And we also filmed it, so.
Congratulations!
How much you want to bet that she's in the running to be single mother of the year? Put me down for a space penny. I'm good for it. No, I'm quite thankful that I'm a dude because we don't get up to that kind of nonsense over at Skeeter's house. Now, I don't know how he did it, but thanks to a minor bank typo, Skeeter ended up with about 2 pickup trucks worth of bowling balls. So naturally, we all got together for bratwurst and brainstorming. We had all sorts of ideas. We built a novelty-sized kinetic ball paperweight. We used a few for clawhammer target practice. Hell, we even built a scale replica of the ancient Incan temple from Raiders of the Lost Ark with Legos, and we used the bowling ball in place of a boulder, and we changed it so that Belloc was the one who got crushed. But Skeeter saved the best for last. He finally found a use for that extra catapult he had lying around. Now, I know what you're thinking, and no, we didn't launch a bowling ball with a catapult. We launched 9 of them. I mean, how else are you supposed to simulate double-aught bowling ball buckshot? And because the impact points were in that massively abandoned factory district of town, the cops only became mildly annoyed with us. But you know Skeeter, right? He had both the proper permits and plenty of root beer for the boys in blue, because that is just how Skeeter rolls.
Hi, we have to take a moment for some shameless self-promotion.
And if you want to hear other stories about Skeeter and from the Lockverse, or hear me rant about video games from 1991, then check out the bounty board over on Patreon, where you can get access to these stories for $5 a month. Sign on up and be put on the list with these fine gents right here. It's the best group of dudes in the known galaxy, I'll tell you what. All hail! And to sweeten the deal, I'll even throw in a personalized shout out for you when you sign up. It's a great way to support the channel at a great price. So thank you for your support, gentlemen and gents. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
If you're single and so frustrated by your relationship status that you truly believe in your heart that there's something wrong with you, that no one's going to choose you, no one has ever chosen you, no one wants you, you're not worthy enough, you're not good enough, people always walk away, that there's something about you, you're behind while everyone else seems to be in relationships, and you're just at a loss, I want you to know this really important piece, okay? It's likely that you are just so much more powerful than you even realize. And the reason why you feel left behind is because you're actually not like everybody else, and that you require a different kind of relationship, one that is emotionally honest, that has a lot of great communication, fun, and depth. And not a lot of people actually want that. It's not to say that that is worse or better, or that you inherently are more like special. You're just not like everybody else.
Hey.
Well, that's where you're wrong, sister. You're practically a carbon copy of hopelessly single women. You've grown so addicted to social media and watching as your friends, family, and dudes you mocked in your 20s all grow up, start families, and do the things that they're supposed to do as an adult. but you brush them all off as emotionally superficial and without any legitimate depth. But you need to face the facts, lady. At any point in your life, you could have had a guy. Rather easily, in fact. There were plenty of them out there, but for whatever reason, you decided not to have any of them because you felt like you were entitled to more. And after gambling with time you didn't have, with men who were clearly out of your league, you've now resorted to self-pity and telling the entire planet that you're just a unique woman who needs more out of a man. And I'm gonna level with you, sweetheart. Those men could be giving you nothing, and it would still be far too much.
You want a relationship that feels really good, because anything else is actually going to feel bad. You're not going to be in a relationship where things are like, fine, okay, you're just getting by. No, you will actually be in relationships that feel like they're at your detriment if you're not with someone who's actually compatible with you. If you are made up this way, I want you to know that I get it. I am the same exact way. I am a deep feeler. I need to be with a person, with a man who's done the work, who has unlearned the patriarchal bullshit that we are constantly regurgitating on this app. Things like, well, if he wanted to, he would. 5 signs he is not interested in you. Ways to make him interested in you. Why he's not interested. It's insane. We want to get to a place in relationships where we can really be our honest selves, because anything else is absolutely exhausting and taxing.
And
woman, did you seriously just bring up patriarchy? You don't even know what the patriarchy is. In fact, I have yet to meet a single one of these women who can actually give me even a tangible definition for the patriarchy. And that's because there is no solid definition. It's just whatever you conjure up in your mind to justify your misery. And now that you're broken, miserable, and completely alone, you're doubling down on this notion that a man must swoop into your life and make you feel happy and make your life complete. And you demand that this man have done all of the work he needed to do on himself, as you sit there and come up with excuse after excuse as to why you won't. I'm sorry, sister, that's not how any of this works. You decided to damage yourself, and you don't get the men who put in the work. So my advice to you is to grab a roll of duct tape and get to fixing. Might as well. It's not like you got anything better to do.
We are generous. We are beautiful. We are unique. We add texture to your life and relationships. And we don't want to be in anything that isn't great. So if you are struggling being single and you're wondering why everyone else seems to be getting along with other people, and you, despite having every sort of resource available to you in order to be in a good relationship, can't get there, just know it's probably because you're just too good for the people that you're meeting. It's not the other way around.
You're boring! You're fucking dull! You have nothing to say! You are a one-hived mind twat waffle!
No, it is the other way around. Men are really not all that complicated. If they meet you and they like you, they'll want to be with you. But if you're constantly meeting men who are interested in you, then it's pretty simple as to why. They are repulsed by you. You are demanding far too much while offering far too little. You are incapable of adding anything into a man's life. You can't even add anything of value onto your own. The only thing that you've said that I even remotely agree with is the fact that you do add some texture to people's lives. But it's the texture you get when you buy a very nice, expensive steak, overcook it, and then serve it to someone. You're gritty, burnt up, leathery, and just an overall unpleasant experience. And yet, you also have the nerve to charge the same price of an actual steak while providing next to nothing. So, no thanks, woman. I can pay my own bills and cook my own steak. And unlike you, I'm actually good at both. And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button. Ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, and make sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, and until next time, peace out, homies.